Right, good evening, hello again once again. My name is Paul, I'm also called Knickknack. I'm the brains behind Knickknack's Daily Teaser and Knickknack's Old Peculiar and all sorts of other knickknacks. I also talk about movies occasionally, and I really should sit down with another one. But I also watch TV shows, and if I think you're going to be interested in what I thought of them, I'll record a video or write a blog post and let you know exactly that. This is my this is my reaction to review of the Interstellar Song Contest, the most recent episode of Doctor Who, and one that was broadcast on the 17th of May 2025. And I thought I should tell you what I thought. Ho-hum. Episode 6, the Interstellar Song Contest, opens with a long shot of the Harmony Arena, a deep space harmonic musical arena, and it shows us also the crowds of people gathered around the central stage in the main auditorium. It then shifts to show us an announcer, Sabine, introducing Ryland Clark himself as a host of the 303rd Interstellar Song Contest, to applause from the 100,000 strong audience and frenzied panic from the production gallery. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Belinda, Shitty Atwell and Varada Sethu, arrive to take one last set of readings with the Vindicator, little realising that A, they're being watched by Mrs. Flood, and B, they're at one of the biggest media events of the years. Once the pair have worked out that they're at the galaxy's biggest song contest, the pair have only got one option: to stay and watch the show. Meanwhile, and unknown to our heroes, Mike and Gary, Kenneth Kirwan and Charlie Condu, are outside the auditorium and having an issue. The tickets aren't being recognised as valid, and also that someone has hijacked their seats. It's only when Gary tries to complain to one of the automated drones that things start to go wrong, as it's about then that a pair of terrorists attack the arena. Now, what did I make of this episode and of the by now notorious shock returns? First things first, I know that the episode is the penultimate one of the series. Yes, I know it is episode 6 in a series of 8, but as the next 2 episodes make up a 2-part one, I'd say the Interstellar Song Contest is the penultimate episode before Series 2's big finale. I'd also say something else, that the plot of the Interstellar Song Contest is going to get much discussed and possibly set precedents. Let's be honest, I believe having an episode set in a Eurovision-style song contest was designed for the show's gay fans. It's a big gay event. I've heard it called the Gay Olympics, so it's kind of obligatory watching. But so long as it's equally as entertaining for the rest of us, I've got no problem. The question is it entertaining? Was the Interstellar Song Contest watchable, entertaining episode, regardless of who you are, regardless of whether you're black, white, gay, straight, male, female, what have you? Yes, it is. It's a very entertaining, edge-of-the-seat, somewhat political thriller about terrorists fighting for a righteous cause, however righteous we think that cause is. I also think it sets a precedent. Although possibly, no. Let's scrub that out. Precedent is possibly the wrong word. It sets up a template, I think, much as the 10th Planet or the Moon Base, various other many episodes set the template or follow the template of a base under siege type story. I think the Interstellar Song Contest sets another. Unless it's a novel version of the base under siege, the Interstellar Song Contest sets a new template, that of a terror attack. It's a template, I think, that can possibly also be adapted. You could replace a song contest with a cup final like we've had earlier today in the UK, or a royal wedding, or even like Fearher's Olympic Games. You can have a major event being interrupted by terrorists. Not Daleks, not Cybermen, terrorists. or freedom fighters. Whatever they are, whatever the setting, I think it's a basic adaptable idea and one I expect to see repeated ad infinitum. Right, on top of everything else, there were returns and reveals. In a couple of key scenes, we see the Doctor being encouraged, warned. Not by Belinda, not by Rose Tyler, not by Ruby Sunday, not by recent companions, but by his granddaughter, Susan Foreman, played by the original series actor Carol Ann Ford herself, the Doctor's original companion. I was shocked, very pleasantly shocked. It has been some 40 odd years since the character and actress have appeared in the show in any meaningful way, since the 20th anniversary special, The Five Doctors, back in 1983. So this was a very pleasant shock and a very welcome one at that, and I can only hope we see more of Carol Ann Ford as Susan Foreman again, but I'm also very aware she's in her 80s, so I'm grateful to have seen her this once. This would have been a nice cap to a career, I think, but it's nice to have seen her this time. There is also another return combined with a reveal. We finally find out that Mrs. Flood, Anita Dobson, is a revamped version of the 1980s Time Lady villain, Narana, and that she's bi-generated into a new version played by Archie Panjabi, who I've got to confess I don't know much about. Now, I have to admit, I was ever so slightly blindsided by this because, yes, I knew there was talk about it, alongside the fact that floods are caused by rain, which is, of course, an anagram of, ha, Ronnie. I actually sat down and thought that, well, hang on, as an alternative here, folks, Mrs. Flood might be a version of River Song. Flood, river, how wrong can a body be? I've got to say that. But anyone who pointed out that rain's an anagram of Ronnie, it turns out they had a point. Either way, we find out how well Archie Panjabi does next week. And I will have to also admit that I'm looking, frankly, forward to seeing it. It could be interesting to see what we see. There is quite possibly a lot of speculation we can do about this particular episode. I'm willing to bet people have been doing that since the damn thing aired on the iPlayer at 8 a.m. this morning. But a few things spring to mind, or at least they spring to my mind. Yes, I think the Interstellar Song Contest is a political episode. The villains of the piece, the Hellion, terrorists or freedom fighters, Kid and Win, played by Freddie Fox and Iona Anderson, respectively, are terrorists stroke freedom fighters attacking the song contest as it's run by the same corporation that invaded their home, and a corporation that only seems interested in harvesting the poppy honey made from flowers native to the place. The reason I say political is simply that old question that I've already bashed you over the head with. Are they terrorists or are they freedom fighters? Most of the time, I think it all depends exactly on where you're standing, on which side of the line you're on. If you're that side, they're a terrorist. If they're this side, they're a freedom fighter. If you're over here, they're an insurrectionist. If you're down there somewhere, they're a vile revolutionary. That's possibly not something to cover effectively in a family show, but it's possibly something to talk to the kids about, or at least raise the issue. But there's a brief scenes between Kid and Win and Cora, the Miriam Teak Lee character. And those scenes remind us that there is a big gulf, not between terrorists and freedom fighters, but there's a big gulf also between violent direct action and trying to assimilate. There's probably a lot of territory there that I don't know I'm qualified to speak on. There is something else that caught my political eye as well. There is a fictional advert at the start of the episode for that same poppy honey. And the shots in the episode and the shots in the ad of the burning poppy fields put me in mind of a couple of things. One, of World War One in the UK, and ever since the 1920s, the efforts in the 20s to start commemorating the fallen in World War One. Fields of poppies had been used to symbolise the lives lost in the war. That was one thing. The other thing that occurred to me is simply this. There's one species of poppy called Papaver somniferum, and it's more usually known, or more politely known, as the sleeping poppy, Papaver somniferum, sleeping poppy, and as the source of opium. It's the opium poppy. So we have a story that's telling us that a corporation, not unlike the East India Company, could or had invaded a world, not unlike Afghanistan and the Northwest India, in a way that could be compared to the East India Company getting opium to sell to China, growing it in Northwest India around the Khyber Pass and Afghanistan and what they used to call the Bengal Presidency, and then flogging it to China. Absolutely nothing to do with this story at all whatsoever. The fact that the opium poppy is still around, still being grown, and still being used to make God knows what, well, I don't know if I am right to make all those comparisons. I really don't know. I'm not going to be the first person or the last person to mention, ew, poppies. I wonder what you can do with them apart from make honey. Right, with all of that said, with all of that done, with all of that dusted and possibly polished, although with my cleaning I wouldn't guarantee it, what did I make of this episode? Did I see a good thing? Did I enjoy the Interstellar Song Contest? Yes, I did. It's a very entertaining, watchable episode, and I'm willing to bet there is a lot to chew over in there, as you've possibly already gathered if you've got this far with the video. I absolutely loved it, and I'm looking forward to the next episode, which is Wish World, on Saturday the 24th of May, and I will be posting my written and video reviews of that by Sunday the 25th. Hopefully you will want to come back for that review next week. Hopefully you would also like to subscribe to my channel. Please do. You'd also like to watch my video. Please feel free to watch anything that's on here. And if you're feeling generous, please put some money in the tip jar in the corner there. It would be very much appreciated and help pay for the Diet Cola and coffee I've used to make this video. And anyway, whatever you think, whatever you do, take care of yourself, have a good time, and
Be seeing you.